What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are at the Spine Farm headquarters today, and today we are here with the entirety of Stone Broken. Thank you all very much
for being
here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So your latest record is Ain't Always Easy, and as we were talking before, it happened like very organically. Just let's give a quick rundown. How was the making of it?
It was stressful, to say the least. We had sort of 12 weeks to write it. That's how much we put aside, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And then we got offered a European tour with Glenn Hughes, and we couldn't say no. So that cut our writing time down to 6 weeks to do a full album, which was intense, and it tested us, I think.
Yeah, I think we coped under pressure quite well.
Yeah. and it made us write in a slightly different way. We had to make decisions, and we had to make them quickly. So it was quite a natural way of letting the song almost write itself.
You don't have time to talk yourself out of stuff as well. You think, that idea might not work. It was like, right, I've got an idea, put it on, that's it.
Well, I'd imagine, because you had to get this all done in such a short period of time, was there ever a part of you worrying that you rushed something or
Well, I did get rid of 2 songs sort of 2 days before we were going into the studio, which wasn't ideal.
No.
Robin was panicking, but I sat down and I said to you, I said we need just absolute quiet. If I can just get an idea going and that sort of thing. It didn't feel rushed. It felt as though I just let it happen quicker, if that makes sense. Like Chris said, we didn't have a chance to say no. That's we're going to take that out. We're going to put something else in, and we just kind of let it go, and I think it really worked for us. And I don't feel as though we rushed through the record. I think we let it happen.
Yeah. I think the song is kind of like a snapshot at that moment as well. Because even with our old songs, I listen to them back. I think I could have played that differently. I wish I put that in. So you always you have fresh ideas to how you would have played it differently. But at that point in time,
you always want to look back at your earlier stuff and be like, oh.
But at that point in time, that's who you were, and that's a snapshot of.
Yeah.
But then you can bring those different ideas to the live show then.
Yeah.
And you can just do a different interpretation of the song on stage. So
of course. But you're ever worried that those 2 songs that you scrapped are gonna be on a B-side record and be the biggest hit you guys ever had?
You know what? If we get a hit, then I'm fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. But I mean, whenever we write songs and we get rid of them, we never truly get rid of them.
Yeah.
We've still got the demos, and there's a song on the new record called Doesn't Matter, and originally we was working on that one for the first record.
Oh,
which
really?
Then we brought back because that was put to one side, and it worked on this album, and the finishing of the song, it sort of came to life now rather than how it was before.
I think as you get older as well, and as you grow as a musician, you can revisit old ideas and think, that's what I can do with that.
Yeah.
But probably back in that time, you're
stuck.
You kind of can't think of what to do with it. So.
Well, was there a preconceived? This is your second full-length record,
That's
so
right.
Was this kind of were you trying to make a direct follow-up to the first one, or did you want this record to stand out in its own entity and just be something completely different?
Well, I think we wanted it to be a continuation of what we'd already done, but we wanted to step up the production side of things, and obviously we wanted to improve songwriting. We want to show people that we've grown since the last record, and I think we managed to do that, but not force it too much.
I think we wanted it to be the bigger brother of the last album.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same bloodline, but a little bit bigger, a little bit tougher.
Yeah, you want every record to be a step up,
exactly,
the next level sort
That's
of thing.
it. Yeah.
Did you were you under pressure? Because obviously you didn't want to just. Because from listening to the first and second record, there is a lot of stuff that ties it in together. You want to evolve your sound, but you don't want to change it too much to the point where you completely abandon it, right?
Exactly. Because that's never. I don't feel that's ever a great move. Is to go from one album to the next album and it be completely different. Because you're going to have undone all of the work that you've done. If you can show a progression, and do it album by album, then I think then that's fine.
Yeah.
Your fans and your audience can kind of grow with you that way.
Yeah. Well, was there like a preconceived idea on how you wanted to progress this record? Or you'd be like, oh, let's, play something a little more challenging, or, like think of like a lyrical concept that you wanted to. There's so many ways you could progress in your discography, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think with this album, it's a lot more personal than the first one, in that the stories that we tell in the songs are, they're personal to us, and subjects that we feel strongly about. And we try to bring more of the real life to this album. And the feedback that we got from the first album was, people really listened to the lyrics. And when I put that together, I thought, okay, I didn't think that people were going to pay so much attention to the lyrics. So on this one, there was actually a bit of pressure thinking, oh my God, people are actually going to listen to the lyrics. So I need to make them worthwhile listening to.
Did you come up with like the lyrics and like write the music according to that, or did you, or because some musicians, they have to hear music in order to come up with lyrics? So
I mean, we tend to get a vibe from the music, and then apply the subject that matches the music. So if it sounds like a dark song, then a dark subject matter will kind of go with that. Kind of doing it the other way around can be tricky, because you've got to go off of words, and although they can paint a picture, it's difficult to translate that in, for me anyway, it's difficult to translate that into sound. If I've got a sound, I can translate that into a mood lyrically. So for me, that's how it works.
Wow, that's a really unique way to do it. It almost seems like you have both ways to do it.
Yeah.
Now, with these lyrics, do you tend to try to like leave it open to interpretation, or or are you really trying, because as you mentioned, there's a lot of personal stories in this record. If somebody were to maybe like interpret it differently, and kind of, there's a very famous saying, when you put a song out, it immediately becomes theirs, almost.
Yeah.
So if somebody interprets the lyrics differently, I'd imagine you'll have a completely different outlook on that song than when you wrote it, right?
Oh, completely. And I mean, that's kind of the thing that I try and do is leave it as open to interpretation as possible. There's some songs where you can't, because it's very direct subject matter. Like for a song Heartbeat Away, it's about domestic violence, and that's very apparent. But then that can occur in many people's lives in different forms. So we try and leave it almost open-ended.
Yeah.
We want people to take the songs and have that connection with them, and we want people to feel as though it was written about their story, because that's how they have the connection to us. So yeah, it's very much like you say, you write in their songs, they can take them and they can interpret them however they like. And we've had people come to us and tell us stories about how a song has inspired them to do something, or how they have a connection with the song because of this certain thing. And I think that's a great thing to have. For us, we want to have that connection with the fans, because it feels more like real life then. When we brought out the video for Heartbeat Away, the amount of messages that we had,
it was incredible.
It was, and people reaching out and saying, thank you for writing this song. It kind of shines a light on important issue that they've had to deal with in their life, and for me, that was job done. That's a tick in the box. Mm-hmm. We've done what we wanted to do.
Which is incredible that you're able to do that. And now you mentioned like playing these songs live. I love talking with musicians about this, because you obviously had like an idea in the studio that you want to do, but when you're playing in the studio, playing these songs in the practice space or whatever, versus playing them live on stage in front of an audience, it's a completely different experience. I'd like to hear y'all on how like different of a vibe it is.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's kind of like a different world, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's like it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
I think once you've been on stage and you've experienced it, there's nothing that quite compares.
I mean, the main difference is you get one take on stage.
Yeah.
If you mess up, then
If you mess up,
good.
yeah.
But in the studio, you think, I can just redo that. But on stage, it's the adrenaline's going. Hands are sweating a little bit.
And I think every single night that we play these songs, we play them slightly differently, because the whole vibe that you have. I mean, the first song, you go out and you're going to be pretty consistent with that first song, because that's the one that sets the tone for the rest of the night. From there on in, though, it can be completely different every single night, and that's just vibe. You can sense the atmosphere in the room, and you can kind of gauge how people are feeling. It's really strange, that sensation that you have as soon as you walk out onto a stage. We like to go out there on all guns blazing, and really get everyone like
their attention.
Yeah, we want to get them pumped up and ready for the show. And I've got to say, kind of pretty much every single show that we go out and do, we kind of get that reaction straight away, because I try and get them to shout and I want them to be screaming and that sort of thing. So as long as we set the tone right, we're going to have a great time. Yeah.
Well, I've noticed with this particular record, there's definitely some really heavy down and dirty rock songs, and there's also some stuff that you could almost consider to be like a ballad or an anthem.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine that when you go from a rock song to a more slower, more ballad song, that the audience reaction completely changes, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, it does. But that's great though, because if you had a set list of 12 songs that was always in high gear, the audience would be tired.
Yeah.
And they
would be tired.
Yeah, we'd all be tired together.
Yeah, that's how you upstage the headliner, right?
But I mean, like, we kind of like to give them a bit of a break in the middle and bring in one of those songs just to, so that they can almost unwind a little bit, and then boom, again with another hard rock song. Yeah.
Well, not to pigeonhole you guys at all by any means, but I definitely consider you guys to be a rock band. It would be like one thing if you were like a death metal band and your whole record has to be like completely uncompromising and gives you no room to breathe. But I feel like you guys have the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, we like to go from riffs to something that's fast paced to something that's got melody and a hook and something that people can hold on to, and then back to riffs. We like to cover the whole kind of spectrum of rock, I guess.
Especially back home, because some songs we'll do acoustically, other times we might bring a piano on.
Really?
Yeah.
We've only done that twice, Kieran.
Yeah.
But
we like to change things up, because a lot of bands just go in there and just do the same thing. Obviously back home be a bit more known, so we don't want to kind of be doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
We want to change up and make people go, oh, that was a great show.
So if I go to the UK to watch you guys, it'll be a completely different experience than watch.
Compared to on this run now.
Tour,
Yeah. I mean, when especially when we're doing a headline show and we've got the full production and things like that, then we carry lights, we carry smoke machines, we carry pianos, we carry all that sort of stuff, and that's kind of where we want to be. We want to be putting on arena shows even though we're not playing arenas yet. We want to be giving people the experience. We want to show them what we can do and where we think we should be.
It's the mentality we've always had, is to put on a big show but in a small room.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of bands do that. Like I recently saw this band called Psycho Stick, and they played in like a venue that's like maybe 50 people cap, and like they brought their whole production on stage. Like,
wow.
And by the end, like they had to cut down the capacity to like 20 people because of how big they made the stage, but it was awesome.
Wow, nice. That's an intimate show, isn't it? That's like 20 people.
Yeah,
wow.
it was hot too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned playing back home, I forgot where in the UK you guys are from.
We're from by Birmingham.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, just the UK in general there's so much history there. Obviously, I'm not going to go way back into the new wave of British heavy metal, but like even modern days with bands like Bullet for My Valentine or Dragon Force, While She Sleeps. I mean, so many amazing bands out there. I believe Asking Alexandria too. It's just so many amazing bands are from there. Was there like a scene that you guys kind of got affiliated in?
I think that for us, I mean, it's very, very kind of pigeonholed. We have a metal scene, we have a rock scene, we have an indie scene, we have and we kind of fall into that rock banner, and that just now in the UK is having a real big boom. of all these kind of up and coming rock bands, and in a way we felt as though what we went out and the success that we got kind of helped to kickstart that. I think, which is great. There's been quite a few bands that have come out of the UK, not necessarily to the States, but that have started to get some momentum and do really good things, which is great for UK bands.
Yeah, you guys are doing your first North American run soon.
Exactly, and it's a really exciting time for rock music, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome. I just recently, for the first time, saw the band While She Sleeps, and it was, I don't know if it was their first U.S. run, but it was an amazing time, and people are like, oh my god, another amazing band from Britain. There's just so much history there. But you mentioned that there's different scenes, a metal scene, an indie scene, a rock scene, but I feel like with the style of music you guys have, it could appeal to multiple audiences.
I think we can, because we do get them at our shows. We get people who turn up and they've got like Slayer t-shirts on, and people turn up and they've got like Aerosmith t-shirts, So we have that almost crossover appeal to the multi.
We've had a few people come up to us after shows and say, look, I've just come with my girlfriend to keep her happy. I don't hate pop music, but I like you guys.
It's awesome, man. Like, so
that's a good band.
We've had comments like that. So I think we do kind of fit a lot of people's criteria, I guess, with what they like music-wise.
It's cool because, and you, as I mentioned, like from listening to the album, there's a variety. Like you're doing this up and coming tour with Fozzy, and then you just played with Glenn Hughes. But I can almost see you with a band like Seether or a band like All That Remains, a band like Killswitch Engage. It seems like really with the style of music you guys have, it could appeal to multiple people.
Yeah, we would play with all those bands.
Yeah.
We would. I mean, we met the guys in Seether. We played Grasspot in Belgium with those guys, and we met up with Sean. And he's a really nice guy. He offered us a few words of advice and things like that. So who knows? Things like that might happen.
Yes, you never know. So before we go, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. Welcome to the United States.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You got this up and coming tour with Fozzy, and what else could we be expecting from Stone Broken for the rest of the record cycle of Ain't Always Easy?
Well, we want to try and come back after this run. That's always been a thing. And we're just going to stay on the road for as long as we possibly can. We've still got a lot of Europe to do as well. So, we're just going to try and get out to everywhere, see as many new faces as we can, and get some Stone Broken in the life.
Yeah.
You'll always be welcome in New York City.
Yes, thank you very much.
Everybody, we are here with Stone Broken. Pick up It Ain't Always Easy. It's absolutely awesome. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we'll see you next time.